If the inverter shuts off, then that means that you've probably had a full day of watching TV and power. And over here, these two red lights will blink in error and keep blinking until you turn it on. And I would do this the next morning at first sunlight. That means that there is power to the panels. So once you go the night without power, just leave the refrigerator closed to keep the food cool from last night's power. And then go out here to the on button, which is right here, and you're going to press it. Okay, I just turned it off. And keep pressing it. Okay, I want to turn it on until you see the underscore. You want the underscore to end up there, so I need to press it one more time. Oh, on there. Also, this light is orange, and it says inverting. To the right of our solar system here are our DC pumps. This pump is the primary pump, A, and this pump is a backup pump, B. The switches for these two pumps are inside, and I'll show you those in a minute. They're in the utility room where the bunk beds were. When the switches are in the on position, these pumps will turn on automatically when this pressure reaches a low enough pressure to where it needs to build up. Once somebody takes a shower or something like that and the pressure gets lower, these start off automatically and it pumps pressure into this well mate right here, which basically has a bladder in it full of air, and it basically collects air pressures so that this pump won't keep going on and off every time there's a shower or somebody opens up a faucet. What happens is it depletes the pressure out of the well mate to serve what you need for water pressure. And then when that's depleted, then this pumps up again, and the pump might stay on for 10 minutes or so. Over here in the garage is a liquid propane gas barbecue. And for a backup, regular old style barbecue, which I like using, with some charcoal or some match light, or maybe some mesquite wood. Next to our solar system, I keep a generator. At the last resort, a generator should be used to recharge the batteries, and that's a little more complicated. This should be done by coming over here, and you have to take off this panel here and take this pigtail and plug in the hot to the hot lead. And then you start the generator, and that provides power to the inverter and also charges up your batteries at the same time. Here are the two switch side pumps that are in the garage, the DC pumps. And again, the A pump is the only one that needs to be on. We would only use the B pump unless the A pump goes bad. And then for some reason, if the battery should go bad in the combination locks on the doors, these keys work as an override to those locks. So you just insert them on the key receptacle on the lock and obviously turn it, and that should get you in and out of the house. The lock on the front door is also a combination lock, and it also has the same combination as the garage and the storage closet on the back porch. We do have a TV inside the house for your use, and you can play either a DVD or a CD, and there's also an MP3 or iPod receptacle. I like to copy content onto my iPod and just bring what I want, movies, TV shows, whatever. I like Hulu and other websites like that for content. Listen to your iPod or use the audio system, you have to come over here and turn the audio controller on. So basically you have to come and press this button and turn on the audio system. Also, for anything to work on this system, this box has to be on. It's the audio-visual switch box. Number one is the CD, DVD player, and for that you would have to turn the TV on. If you're not watching the TV or using the monitor with your iPod, then make sure and turn the TV off just to save power. Number two right here is for MP3 or iPod, and that is this dock right here. If you absolutely need to, you can unhook this back portion and just stick it straight into your iPod, but I like to use the remote control with it to control from back there. Other than that, I would ask that you please not bother any of this wiring. Hopefully in the future we'll have some Wi-Fi, and I'm all set up for that pretty quick. Here's a router, and this is actually what's called a sling catcher, and that would be button number 3. And the sling catcher goes back to a cable supplied box back at my house in Los Angeles, and is designated for this vacation home. So when we have Wi-Fi and that's up and running, then you will be able to access that cable box and watch Los Angeles-based TV. When you're finished with the entertainment system, please turn the switch box off. You will always see a standby power light on right here. Also, there are standby power lights on the sling catcher and the router, so don't worry about those. But when you're not using it, make sure and turn the audio off. So that's the audio controller, and that is off. In the wintertime, it can be a little chilly, so we do have propane heaters. There's one in the main living room, and then one also in the master bedroom. Other than that, just use lots of blankets and cuddle up. Every now and then, as toilets do, these flaps sometimes get stuck. So you just want to keep an eye out for this, and actually want to listen more than anything. So when you flush the toilet, the flap goes up. The red flap right there goes up, lets the water through the hole, and then it drops back down. So you just want to make sure that it doesn't get stuck up, because if the flap sticks up, then we will use all the water through the tank. It will just flow into the toilet and straight out the drain, and you will have an empty tank with no showers in the morning. Then you'll have to go find the guard Dioscuro and ask him to call the water truck and get more water. So just keep an eye out for that. And we'll sit here and listen as the tank fills. And so what we want to do is just make sure that that valve closes at some point. So we're listening to the tank fill, and as it fills, this will shut the valve off, and it sounds like this. So that's how we want it to be, not like that. The water tanks are located on the roof, right up there. There's 2 tanks, and they come and fill those tanks, and those tanks are then pumped down into the DC pumps and puts the water under pressure and puts it back into the house. So if you think you're out of water, go up there and bang on the tanks and see if there's any water. Sometimes the hot water heater pilot light blows out. And take a look at the hot water heater. There it is again. What to do is just go up to this, turn this valve to right there. There's an indentation right there where you can see the valve can go down. If it's like that, then but this valve is positioned correctly, you can push this gas valve all the way down, and it's got to be all the way down to light. So as you're pressing this, you just take a torch and stick it in there, and there. Okay, right now the valve is on caliente, and that's where I want it during the winter time. If I come in September, I usually don't even turn this on, but October, November, it starts to get cold, and I like warm showers. When you leave, please just turn this all the way over to Frio, and that'll keep the water heater from lighting up without having the pilot light go out. And so then the next people who come can just turn it from Frio to Caliente, and you will hear the burner go on. It's not on now because the water is hot, and it already senses the hot temperature, so it doesn't need to flame up. As you exit the house, please bring your trash in large black trash cans. I think they're 40 gallons. If you look in the kitchen or in the cabinets, you can find one. And just put it in that can there and empty all your small, tall trash can bags into that can. And please make sure and cover it, as we have lots of animals and there's also some dogs around.